I've got a big response to posting of just 30 seconds of an entire workout that I did with Patrick. And I want to make very clear to everybody watching this that that is a very small part of the work. And it's less than 1% of what we would attribute to any level of competency or success in any type of training adaptation. So I say that because I don't want anyone to look at that drill, speed towels, and say, oh, this is why he has these arm slots, or oh, this is why he throws fast, or this is why he's got one of the fastest release times in the game, if not the fastest week to week. And what if I do this with this person and it will do that? There's a lot more to performance than doing drills. And if you get anything out of this video, understand that drills are just like ingredients. I can give you a stack of ingredients and you can't make the same recipes and the same type of dishes to serve as I can or someone else. And drills only have value in context. That's it. So on that note, I'll say the speed towel drill in this particular day was placed at the end of the workout, and our objective was to do some max power work in the beginning of the workout, move into some speed development, 3D movement type of training, and then once his body moved past that, we were going to move into some strength complexes. But before the strength complexes, I wanted to really get some, for lack of a better term, conditioning for his shoulder girdle, and really flush out some of the leftover lymphatic fluid and things from the game. And one of the better ways to do that is to do a complex targeting in that area. The complex that we did was 4 parts. Okay, part 1, we did speed bat swings. So I make him go opposite side on the first set, and then he can go on his regular swing and throw side on the second set. So on the opposite side, he's going to swing 3 bats. They're going to get lighter every rep. On the swing side, he'll swing three bats. They get lighter every rep. The goal is to maximally wind the spine for as much speed exposure as we can through the thoracic spine. Then the next thing that we're going to do is reverse weighted ball throws. So he's in a kneeling position, and he'll go heavy ball, reverse throw as hard as he can. Then a medium weight ball, reverse throw as hard as he can. And then a light implement as hard as he can backwards. After he gets up from that, it's just a bath towel. That's all it is. I had somebody literally ask me where to order speed towels from. Bizarre. So it's just a bath towel. You don't want to grip it hard, or it's gonna rip on that bicep too much. It's a really, really light grip, just through 2 fingers. And you want to make sure that the athlete is coached to be whippy. And what I mean by that is you put contact in the ground, you put force in the ground, and then snap. You want it to be just like a bullwhip. You want to snap. So with that being said, I don't like to overcoach this drill. It really is not about kinematics or how the legs move. You do want to put good front side pressure in. You want that to be the trigger that works up the chain. So you want the body to work in sequence, just like if a swinging athlete, golf, baseball, any kind of throw, strike, it doesn't matter. Force in the ground, activation through the lower body, through the trunk, then through the spine, then through the shoulder girdle, and then eventually through the arm. You want that transference. Now, I like to let athletes have a creative movement, expression in different arm slots, and think through different scenarios. So my coaching on this would be every throw is a new scenario. In your head, you see an athlete, you make the throw. You see an athlete, you make the throw. You see an athlete, you make the throw. And then you want them to see problems that are routinely in their way. So that's going to create arm slot angles. Instead of saying, I want you to hit these arm slots, give them problems to solve instead of that. So a lot's been said already about how ridiculous this drill is. I'd be the first one to agree. If you think just doing this is going to make you a really good quarterback, that's ridiculous. It will not, okay? My goals for this are to, 1, have a speed that is faster than his actual arm speed in the game. Why? I want to improve his speed. So to improve speed, you have to move fast. And when he's got a towel in his hand, he can move fast. The other thing is to challenge his body under fatigue to solve the problem, not with his arm, but with his full body and the kinematics and the chain reactions that he can produce. I also want to challenge his ability to keep his head still and his front side mechanics still when he's fatigued. So those things are very, very important to me from a training adaptation standpoint. So finally, after he got done with the speed towels, he wasn't done with the complex. He immediately, I'm talking no rest, we did slow motion throws with the weighted implement where he's focused on getting maximal extension in front of the body, keeping his feet planted. He goes to the full throwing motion and reverse. And then with no rest, we roll it again. And we don't do 5 sets of this. You don't need to do 10 sets of towels. I mean, you do 30 seconds of that. I'll challenge anybody on this. Do 30 seconds of that as fast as you can, and it's going to make you feel like you just ran a quarter-mile sprint. You're going to feel sick to your stomach. It's not easy. So I would say use caution with this drill. Be smart. If someone has really, really bad mechanics, it's not a good option for you. This is not a drill that you're going to do and they're going to get better at their throwing mechanics. Okay? So make sure that you have an idea of what you want from them and that they are at a competency level where they can actually go full speed without any repercussions. Okay? If they have pain, this isn't a good drill for you. Okay? If they have really, really bad mechanics, it's not a good drill for you unless you're focused on 1 to 3 type of issues that you want to correct and have them only focus on those things. So, wanted to bring some clarity from it. So, my inspiration from this drill is from Tom House himself, in meeting with him and learning from him. Now, the way that they execute this for quarterbacks and pitchers is way different than what you see executed on this video. I'm a little different in my creative thought processes and how I go about using information and people that I've been blessed to learn from. So, the way I executed this is completely different than their intent and the things that they do it for. So do not judge what I do and then say that you're going to judge what they do from that, because my interpretation of the purpose of this is unique in its own right. However, they should be credited with the initial thought process of it and some of the things that they're doing with this drill independently. And yes, there are people out there that think that towel drills are ridiculous. I'd be the first to agree with you, especially if you think you're going to get something out of it that you're not. So we didn't do this for a show. I like to give people a little peek into what goes on, but try not to take this and think you see the whole puzzle by one little 30-second snippet, because that's one of about 1,000 boxes we want to check week to week. I'll open it up to some questions. Does it fit his playing style? Yeah. I mean, look, Patrick is a creative mind. He's a thinker. He is someone that is a problem solver, not really someone that's focused on just technique all the time. That's what makes him unique. So in a drill like this, you can really see that executed. I would challenge you to try it with different athletes. We've tried it with a lot of different athletes. If we do this drill differently with pitchers, obviously, because they have a repeatable motion for the most part. And some quarterbacks do too. Patrick, every throw is different. So when he does this drill, he's got to do every drill or every throw different. I will say that there are times we compete on just raw speed on this, and I've seen him get 66 reps in 30 seconds is the most I've seen from anyone, and he's done that. So that would be when he's doing a repeatable motion and just hammering really as short of a loop as possible. And yes, it's not realistic, but that's not the point. Sometimes I just want sexy, raw, violent speed because I'm a maniac mainly, and I want my athletes to be exposed to it. What should you stay away from in the weight room as a quarterback? Nothing. Get strong. Now, at the point where you feel like your movements are restricted because your body wants to solve problems with strength as opposed to speed and power, you have an issue. Otherwise, get strong. Most people don't get to that point. Look, if you're not bench pressing 1.5 times your body weight, 1.25 times your body weight, you're not even close to having a problem. Overhead pressing is not a problem unless you have bad shoulders. You know, I'm not saying you need to try to, if you build yourself like a bodybuilder, you're going to have a problem. But strength conditioning, you should not be scared of anything. Go in there and compete as an athlete in there. Every quarterback at the highest level right now has got to execute as an athlete first and a quarterback second. Watch the game. Watch the game. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Patrick, I mean, who else? Everybody out there, Lamar, all of them, Kyler Murray. These guys are athletes that can compete in the weight room. They have robust bodies. They go to what Russell Wilson. Sorry, Russell, didn't mean to leave you out. Good Lord, but you cannot shy away from improving your body. Now there is a point where it can be to a detriment if you're overexposing yourself to this, or if you're not doing enough of the other things. But you don't need to shy away from anything in the weight room. Tell your strength coach not to hate me. Tell him I said that. Any other questions? Yeah, I just thought with the crazy response to this, I wanted to bring some clarification and make sure that people don't overvalue a towel drill. I mean, it's just one drill. It's not going to make or break you. I think it's a great drill for infielders. I really do. The thing that you want to make sure is they don't have any initial pain from the overuse in sport of baseball. Nobody should do this drill if they have any pain. No one. But yes, for infielders, it would work. For pitchers, the way we do this is I really want them to execute their motion fully and finish out in front, hold the front side, and get long. When I say get long, I don't mean arm action. I'm talking get long with the lower body. I want big strides. I want them to turn over in the back. I want them to make sure that their lower body kinematics are a lot more important in this drill, in my opinion. Happy Gilmore. So when you say, does it help with arm strength is a byproduct of so many factors, and one of them is your thoracic spine. So from your neck to your belly button, that's your thoracic spine. How fast that can move and how much power you can generate from your legs that transfers to that is a key component to arm speed and arm strength. So indirectly, the Happy Gilmore drill can definitely help arm strength because it helps with transference from the lower body to the upper body. Now, again, it's not the end-all, be-all. There's a lot of ways to do that with med ball throws and just having a really good movement training system and an implementation of med ball throws from at least 8 different angles and various implements. Developing your core for throwers, throw. Do fast things. If you don't expose your core musculature to high velocities and at least 8 different force vectors, then you're not going to express power in a variety of different ways, and one of those being throwing. So it's not that complicated. If your body can produce power in a lot of different ways and execute that throwing, striking, and moving, which is key, and then you combine that with things that you can integrate from the weight room. I said combine that with things you can integrate from the weight room, good chance you're going to throw really hard, and you're going to throw better, and you're going to expose your core to things that actually develop the core for throwing. And look, there's not very many quarterbacks and pitchers that have an 8-pack or 6-pack. If they do, they probably are weak. So you don't really want to see, there's not very many Abercrombie models that made a living throwing anything. So put that in your front pocket. Love you, Stefan. Proud of you, brother. Patrick's incredibly coachable. As far as, what you look for when you want to work with someone. I've worked with a lot of, I think a lot of people now think I've only ever worked with him, but before Patrick played a varsity sport, we had about 100 professional athletes in 6 different sports. And some of those guys, most of the women and men, most of them, the differentiating factor is their professional approach, not their talent once you get to a certain level. And Patrick's among the best, if not the best, on seeking coaching. At the highest level of execution and performance, he's still looking for things he could have done better, which is a trait of a champion and a high performer. He's not overly critical of himself, but he's also not overconfident either. He rides that middle ground. He's emotional about the right things and not about the wrong things. He's very professional in how he deals with his coaches and his communication skills. These things are incredibly important. And look, man, Patrick likes to have fun, so I can't be militaristic when I train him. That I could be, but that's not going to get the best out of him. And that's not from his feedback. That's from my own observation. So if I don't throw in some fun with him, I don't get his absolute best. Well, competition too. I got to tell him, I got to put a bar a little bit above what I think he can do to get him to do his best. How can you get better shoulder flexibility and external rotation? That's a complex question. There's a lot of ways to do that. Shoulder flexibility is a misunderstood term. For the most part, flexibility is tissue extensibility. Okay, but mobility is range of motion in a way that you can execute strength, and I think that's probably what you mean. External rotation, you can do with your bands. A lot of people do a lot of band work. One of the things I like to sneaky get better external rotation is take your bands about waist level and draw some small circles in that external rotation type of movement around your hips, and let those circles get bigger. And what you'll find is you'll naturally get more degrees of range of motion by going in that circular motion rather than just cranking right at it. Because, we all know that there's people out there that teach this really rigid band routine, and there's the guy that's like, oh my gosh, don't move your scapula, and that's a lat strain waiting to happen, and all this stuff. But the truth is the body sometimes needs different angular exposures of movement in order to further get more range of motion in an acute movement or an exact movement. So I would really work on some of those circular motions to kind of let your body ease into those ranges, and then I think you're gonna find that you get better external rotation. And a lot of that layback, that you want, most athletes can't get statically. The good ones can't get statically what they can get in movement. So, Katie, yeah. Delvon, before you worked on him, and good job hitting those objectives, by the way. Before you worked on him, we did get some work yesterday. It was not a light day. It was not an off day for him. Any value in partial squats? Yeah, a ton. So I think too often people are like, do I do this or this? I would say do both. Here's the value in doing partial squats. Well, first, before I get hunted by the S&C community, full range of motion squats are incredible because you're working on mobility and functional mobility of the foot, ankle, knee, and hip, and really the posture of the spine. So important, so good for you to do full squats. Sometimes if you want to expose yourself to higher loads and you really want to teach the body to be strict on impact, like put force in the ground faster, sometimes it's good to limit your range of motion and do those partial squats. And you could do lockouts from a pin where you go from like you're supported and just lock out. And that's going to teach your body to be a little more sudden upon foot contact and initiate strength faster, which in my opinion is a very important skill set. So I don't necessarily rank that above regular squats. I just think it's a good thing to do and implement into your training approach, but I wouldn't eliminate one for the other. Have I trained Clyde the Glide? Yeah, not extensively, a couple times, maybe just once actually, but I've seen him practice and been around him, and I'm incredibly impressed with who he is as a person. And his body is incredible, and I was impressed with the things he was able to do in the session that we had before the season. And man, what a pickup! He's going to have an incredible career. Really excited that he's with Patrick. Chop wood, carry water is not a drill. That's a book, my man. I just put that as a caption. When do I work with Patrick? That is private information, but he likes 2 p.m. a lot. So, all right, that wraps it up. All love to everybody. Hope y'all have a blessed Thanksgiving. I'm thankful. I'm blessed beyond what I deserve, and I'm thankful for people that would invest time even watching this video to this point. So if that's you, God bless you. All love your way. Love your people. No diets on Thanksgiving. But get back on that train and don't have any leftovers when it's over. God bless all of you. Have a good one.